Here we are.
Hello, hello.
Turn toward the light.
Trudy should be joining
you.
us in 2 minutes. How's it going?
Good. It's pouring rain here. It's really dark. So I'm
Wow.
trying to find some light. Yeah, it's all right. It's good. How about you?
Oh, very well. Well, I mean, weather's beautiful here, so.
Yeah. Still a heat wave?
Oh my God, and how?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I can't bear that. Like, I just can't handle a heat wave. So I'm very happy to be here where it's definitely not a heat wave, but it's nice.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
So we are live on YouTube right now.
We are.
Woohoo.
Fantastic.
How are you both?
Fantastic.
Good. Really good. Really good.
Good.
Trudy, once we're going, once the reading begins, I'm going to flip over to YouTube and watch it there. But
Okay.
you can sit in the Zoom room if you prefer. Just because I really like how it looks in the YouTube.
Whatever works for you, that's cool with me.
And then I'll come back at the end for the talk.
Okay.
Right?
So
Great.
I will just say that we're going to take a break after the reading and before the discussion. And how long do you usually break for?
Very briefly.
5 minutes?
5 minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
very briefly, because otherwise I think we run the risk of losing people, which does happen anyway. But
Yeah.
so I would say just a bio break, a quick
Yep.
glass of water and whatever. And what we'll do is when as people start arriving, I'll take attendance. Basically, that's what I usually do, and go through some of just the rigmarole about cameras and mics and not. I will encourage people to go to YouTube if they're not involved in the reading.
Right.
And then I'll introduce you, and then you can just take over from there.
Okay.
Do your land acknowledgement, and then go for it, and just do whatever you want, because it's your baby. Great.
I will try not to ramble.
Ramble away. It's all good.
Well, again, we don't want to lose them.
I was just going to say one small adjustment for today. Christoph was unable to.
I told her.
Oh, great.
She knows. Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you so much for being willing to step in. I really appreciate that, Stefan.
It's really serendipitous because my family is German was my first language.
Oh,
so
wow.
It really works out.
We said probably it was meant to be.
Feel free to correct anything that's wrong.
No.
And of course, ironically, Dutch was my first language. So this
yeah. How could there be two more perfect people to be working with today? I am so lucky in so many ways.
Yeah, we're thrilled. We're thrilled to be doing this. Thank you.
Wow, I'm absolutely thrilled to have you doing it. So I'm glad that everybody's happy all the way around, because it's very exciting for me. Oh, and Stefan, I wondered, it occurred to me while I was riding my bike this morning that it might be really handy for me to have this recording when it comes to things like applying for grants or applying for fringe festivals and things.
Yeah.
Is that acceptable to, like, if I record or if I get your recording or something?
We have to ask everybody involved.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're going to, I think we usually record them, right? It's being recorded now.
It's being recorded as we speak. Yeah. I can actually just pop a message into the Facebook thread that we've got going and just see if folks would be okay with that. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great. And then I can always get it from you after. I know it'll be big, but my husband is a tech wizard and he'll find some place where you can just drop it and I can get it and that'll work. And then that way people can think about it. They can, we don't have to rush them into making that decision before we start at 2:00 or something.
Right. Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Great. They just need to give their permission. It's very unlikely that anyone will resist. I don't know if anybody in this reading is a union. That would be the only possible snag.
Yeah.
Are you equity, Stefan?
I am not. No.
Okay. So it's unlikely that the others are, I think. Well, we may be fine, but.
Okay. Yeah, I just figured it made sense to ask you guys that, just to see if that had occurred before or whatever. So.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so. Yeah, I'm really happy that we are launching this, which is basically hopefully going to encourage other writers to, use this as a place to try out their work. I think it's a really positive use of the Quaranteam space.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Interestingly, one of the Quaranteam readers I previously met at a playwriting class. I'm like gapping on her name. Well, I'll think of it later.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a small world, basically.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So she turned up and I was like, oh, hey,
That's
cool.
so great.
Yeah.
You're getting some good reactions already there, Stefan.
Yeah, it looks
Oh,
like
good.
They're coming. The answers are coming. Yeah.
we've
My
got
goodness.
some people in the waiting room, so I'm just gonna start letting folks in. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
Exciting.
Hello.
Here they are. Coming fast.
Hello.
It's great. We've got Duncan.
Hi, folks.
Hey, hi.
How's it going?
Mackenzie.
Hello.
Hey, yay. So glad you're here.
Glad to be here.
Yay. It's so good. Just taking attendance just to make sure we have everybody.
Like we're back at school.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than starting a reading and realizing somebody's missing. So
I feel like we have yet to do that. I don't
yeah,
think
on a different reading, not for Quarantine, but when we read for Lear, I thought we were missing someone at the beginning. Remember that?
yeah.
Well,
stopped.
I did a reading a little while ago and we had everybody at the beginning and then somebody got kicked out and we didn't notice until their line came and it was like, wait, where did they go? Their picture's not there, you know?
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
It can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Great.
The joy of Zoom readings, right?
Yeah.
No, great.
That happened in real life, it would be very worrisome, but online it's
Yeah,
where did they go?
that's right. Excellent. Just a couple more.
Fantastic.
So I guess it makes sense we'll wait till everybody's here before we try and sort out this business on page 18 and 19.
Yeah, we'll wait. That's better. Then you don't have to do it twice.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if the people involved were here, but then I was like, just wait.
Yeah.
Just two more, right? Maha
more.
and Aaliyah.
Yeah, and Aaliyah. Yeah.
Great. Great.
So we're almost there. We're still. It's not even the hour.
Yeah. We're still in
Yeah, we're in good shape.
Nice headshot.
Yeah.
I've got a prop here. It's my grandfather's old toy rifle from when he was a kid.
Oh my God.
Would you like me to use that? Is that okay?
Of course.
Sure. Cool.
Maybe just don't point it directly at the screen.
Yeah.
That's great. I love it. Props are always welcome and encouraged.
Yeah.
Cool.
So good. There she is.
Hello.
Yeah. And do we have him ahead yet? No.
He responded on Facebook, but he's not here yet. So I think he should be here shortly.
Yeah, right. We know he's
There we go.
there. Okay, great. Great. Yay! Hello.
Hello.
Good to see you. Excellent.
All right. Hey,
All
hey,
right.
hey.
We've got everyone here now. Stefan, do we have anybody in the room that's just audience?
No, we have everybody. Everybody is in YouTube. We've got-
Great. And you've got the YouTube link on the page, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
it's all-
excellent. Excellent. That's the way it should be. That's been working out really well. Just for the rest of you to know that all of this stuff looks really good on the YouTube link. So watching one of these readings, it's actually much better than watching it in the Zoom room. So we're really encouraging the audience to watch that way. The only thing I wanted to start off today was just to remind us, I think everybody that's involved here has read before, so you know the drill, just with the cameras off and mics off when you're exiting and entering. This play has overlapping dialogue in the script, but we're encouraging you not to overlap because as we know, it doesn't work so well in this form. And it's just, it will be great for Trudy to be able to hear all of the dialogue without us getting kind of fractured and messed up when we get to the overlapping. But we all understand that in the show would be overlapped. So I'm going to introduce you to Trudy Romanek and hand everything over to her because we in Quaranteam, Stefan and I are so thrilled to have our first original play reading. We think this is an incredible platform for encouraging writers to bring their work to us, hear it read, bring it back after you've worked it again or whatever. This is so positive and exciting. So over to you, Madam Trudy.
Hi, everybody. I just want to start off by thanking Jeanette and Stefan for giving me the opportunity to do this because it's very exciting and I'm really, really looking forward to hearing all of you read it. And I wanted to thank you guys for volunteering to do this and putting your time into it. That's much appreciated too. Now, I think that there was some question about the voices on page 1819. So maybe we need to just quickly clear that up. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So, so on page 1819, there's voice number 2 and voice number 3, right? So voice is the person who is voice all the way through. Okay, that same actor. Voice 2 is the actor who is also playing Warren Phillips. Okay, and voice 3 is the actor who is also playing Lou Rayburn. Okay, does that all make sense? Was there any question beyond that?
Sounds
I think
good.
that clarifies it beautifully.
Yeah.
I just have a quick question because we talked about cameras off during ins and outs, but since I'm a voice, do you want me to just keep the camera off and just be the voice?
Oh,
It's up to you, Trudy.
I suppose that could work. And maybe the same with the voiceover things. Keep the video off, but have your audio on. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Thanks for that.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Let's experiment with that. That's great.
Yeah, great. Okay, so, sorry, I've got 2 screens going on here, which means I have to look away from all your lovely faces every now and then. All right, so I want to start with the land acknowledgement. For more years than we can count, there have been stewards on these lands that we now call Canada. And as we gather here from many locations, we honor the work of all those who have nurtured and cared for the places that we inhabit. We recognize their deep and long-standing connection to these lands. Where I am in Barrie, territory covered by Treaty 16 and the Upper Canada Treaties, we're on the traditional lands of the Haudenosaunee peoples, the Ojibwe or Chippewa, and the Anishinaabe. We thank them for their continued commitment to these lands and also honor the role generations of Inuit and Métis peoples have played in shaping this great country. But recognizing the contribution and importance of these Aboriginal peoples is not enough. We must commit to righting past wrongs through steadfast work to bring about genuine truth and reconciliation, and to make reparation for past and ongoing policies and actions that have harmed these First Peoples. The story my work tells today does not feature the history of these land stewards, but I commit in my artistic practice and in my personal life to amplifying Indigenous voices so that their views, their needs, and their stories are no longer secondary to those of settlers like me. So, as Janet said, I'm Trudy Romanek, and I'm a writer. And I have expressed my gratitude to all of these fine people who are on the screen today. Really, really appreciate your efforts. To give you a little background into the play, in 2005, an elderly friend of mine named Peg Brooks handed me an old canvas bag filled with more than 300 fragile yellowed letters. They were all written by her brother, Sergeant Bob Henson, during World War II. Since that time, someone who can't stand to watch people hurt each other even in movies, I have learned more about warfare and about the actions of one particular regiment than I ever imagined I would. And I've struggled with how best to share the legacy of those letters, because reading them, I got to know Bob. I feel as though he's a person that I've known for most of my life. By 2012, the letters had become the basis of a play, and then many ever-changing, very different versions of that play followed, from something like a docudrama that contained practically every detail I've ever researched to the more focused script that you'll be reading today. Going through all of that has given me a bit of time to realize a few things about the experiences in those letters and in the memories of another Canadian soldier, Lance Corporal Ken Rowland, and about what all of it for me adds up to. I need to thank Bob's mother, Lillian Henson, for treasuring these letters for decades, and his sister Peg Brooks for having faith in me. So I look forward to listening to what I've written and to your feedback. As you read and listen, I'm hoping you'll consider 3 points. First, does any of this move you, make you feel any kind of strong emotion? Second, what elements of this situation remain unclear to you? And finally, do you relate in any personal way to the content of this play? And does it offer you a takeaway message? I'd love to talk about all of those afterward. And now I'm going to stop talking and let the rest of you fine people take it away.
Setting. The setting is metaphysical, with a few earthly locations represented. The action is continuous. Scene 1. Lights up on Bob and Jack Kendall, each with a rifle slung on his back. The stage is otherwise empty and black, save for a passage of light.
So, you gonna tell me or what?
You really think it'll help?
Couldn't hurt, right?
Well, I was running across.
A single loud gunshot.
Jesus Christ.
Again.
Again?
Heard one just before we got here, too. Exactly like that.
You did?
Yeah, after she said my name.
After who said... Never mind. Get back to you were running across the, what?
Right, across the dike. And then I got taken down by a sniper shot.
Like that one?
Not sure.
And then?
Then nothing.
Popped running across the dike. That's it?
Yeah, at least I think so.
Taking chances as usual, out in the open.
One of my crew was covering me, but something went wrong. I got hit and fell, and then I don't know.
A couple of those wounds look pretty bad. Probably died then and there. As simple as that.
Maybe. No, I lay on that dike for a while. And later, I'm sure I popped my head up and got shot again. But in between, damn, why can't I remember?
Keep trying.
Can't you just tell me?
Got to work that one out for yourself.
You sure this is what we're supposed to be doing?
I'm not positive, but
Maybe how I died has nothing to do with it.
fine. What then?
How I lived?
Your whole life, you mean?
Or just the soldiering part, judging by the duds.
Ah, the grand adventure.
Yeah. We almost didn't get in, remember? Triumphs all over the province trying to find a recruitment doctor who'd overlook your bad eye.
Yeah, and you always made me go first.
Well, yeah.
Might have been nice if sometimes.
Oh, so I should have gone first and got in, only to watch my best friend get turned away and end up in a different regiment?
I forgot you did that.
Promise you I would.
That's right. You did.
December 9th, 1944.
There. Hear that?
Dear Mum, the elements here in Holland are very much against us. Cold and miserable.
That's the voice?
Sound like Peg to you?
Peg. Why would...
One silver lining, the weather stranded a well-known Dutch concert pianist here and he played for us the whole evening. It was all classical, but very good. I suppose my next parcel will be along soon. Cigs are still a problem. I've been bumming smokes from the other guys for almost a month.
Piano player. Well, la-dee-da.
A rare bright spot. Those were easier to write about.
You put in any of the bad stuff?
Some. But why make them worry more?
Imagine that. Saint Bob telling him lies.
I'm heading out on patrol, Mum. Give my love to Dad, Peg, and Gramps. Love, Bob.
I didn't lie, just left parts out.
Yeah, the war parts.
You barely wrote anything to them.
You were the writer. No way I could describe what we were doing, what was going on. Why bother writing?
So your family wouldn't be left wondering if you're still alive, maybe?
They knew.
Only because I made sure they did. Like good old Bob take care of it, same as always. You know what? Let's forget this. We can't recreate every minute of my time in uniform. Don't let me keep you from wherever.
Fine.
Okay.
Look, if I leave, you'll probably go back to nothing for who knows how long. I want you to figure this out. What if we tally up your actions?
Like good versus bad?
Focusing on the bad.
So poke and prod into everything I did wrong.
Basically,
Sounds like a treat.
to figure out how bad they were, what they might add up to. Okay?
I guess, if it'll get me out of here.
Gunshot.
Jesus Christ, why does he keep doing that?
You tell me.
You heard it before, you said. When?
Not in the whole time I've been...
Something about your name?
What?
The first gunshot, the voice said your name, you said, and then you heard it.
Yeah. Peg, or whoever she is, said Sergeant Bob Henson. Even rhymed off my regimental number and some other stuff. Then came the gunshot. Why?
Couldn't tell you.
You don't know? But I thought you...
No, I'm not allowed to tell you.
Is that a rule or something?
Hate that sound. Was hoping I'd never hear it here again.
So loud. Especially here. In the field. Now that was different. Shots like that were so commonplace we barely noticed them.
Most of them. There's a few that stuck with me. Remember that rainy night? The poker game you skipped to write letters. Sitting with Private, what's his name?
Sitting with... You mean beside no man's land and those wounded Germans? That time you vamoosed?
It seemed harmless. Leaving you to write and him to sleep it off.
It wasn't my...
What did you say to him?
You weren't especially broken up about it at the time. You don't even remember the guy's name.
Sure I do.
So desperate to get away from the enemy wounded and their spooky moaning.
Lights change.
What the hell was that?
Probably the wounded? The spirits, I mean.
No. Why?
Somebody is setting things up for us.
How? That's crazy. No way that can they...
Sound of rain begins.
Sure about that? So there were wounded Jerrys outside.
Yeah, giving you the creeps.
And
And you and the others headed for the poker game. I didn't have so much as a cig to bet.
that private had polished off a bottle and passed out.
Archie was his name, by the way. Archie Bingham.
Sleeping soldier appears, unseen by either Bob or Jack.
Archie, of course. And you said you'd babysit.
Bob and Jack see him.
Is that? Archie, is that you?
He's asleep and dead drunk, remember?
Right.
Distant thunder.
Bob?
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to kind of replay it, like it happened.
What? No, I don't think I'll do
Why
that.
else would he be here?
Light comes up on makeshift surface with paper, pen, and ink.
Go on. You write. I'll watch.
But I have no idea who I was even writing to.
Dip the pen and start.
I can't start if I don't.
Do it.
Bob goes to surface, writes, reading along.
Dear Dad. Holy shit. My hand just.
Keep going.
This week has been rough. Did you know the dying men cry out for their mothers? Probably did from the last time around. 3 nights ago. I don't want to do this.
So don't. Stay here. Or take your chances.
3 nights ago, advancing through the woods, my boot snagged in something. I looked down. It was the rib cage of a corporal I knew, who'd gone missing days before. But the platoon sergeant said we had to press on.
Clap of loud thunder.
Jesus.
Go on.
At daybreak, we got caught in a firefight. I tried to focus on our objective, pretend the rest wasn't real, but the chaos of it, the screams. I turned my head, and there was this beautiful stand of trees, like ones out back of our house, lit up by the rosy haze of dawn, and I wanted to run there, but I couldn't move. Thanks for listening. Dad, please write soon. Love, Buster.
Roscoe, I gotcha. Hang in there, buddy. Roscoe? No. Somebody help!
Archie, pipe down.
Nice.
Help, please! Roscoe? Roscoe?
It's Bob. You were dreaming. Same one?
Yeah. I can't keep this up. If only I'd kept my mouth shut.
Nobody heard.
I called out to warn him. Why did I do that? He would have kept going. Wouldn't have been standing there when...
You couldn't know that. When your gut tells you to do something, you have to do it.
You're right.
Jesus H. Christ. Want some water?
Gonna need something stronger.
Archie exits.
Then I came in and told you our new orders to move out in 2 hours.
Instead of getting the 4-day rest they promised us.
Yeah, you ranted about that for a while. And then you said, Bob, you gotta say it.
Let's get the 6-pounder ready.
Smallish explosion.
The grenade.
Lights restore.
How the hell should I know?
What did you say again? When your gut tells you something, you do it. You probably didn't intend for him to.
Of course I didn't. Jesus.
Still, if you hadn't said it.
I was talking about the other thing. Roscoe.
Even so.
I did not cause Archie's accident.
Okay.
Wasn't something I consciously did. Still, it wears you down. Feeling you maybe could have prevented something.
I bet.
That letter. The dead corporal, I remember writing that one. Was that really Archie? I should have asked him, did he survive? I mean, past those first couple of days.
Can't tell you.
Oh, yeah. The rules.
But did he look any older?
That how it works?
Look at me. As youthful as the day I died. Or do you remember?
So, Archie, and those wounded, any way to tell whether they
If I didn't know better, I'd think you were more worried about those wounded Jerrys than your own guys.
what the hell is that supposed to mean?
Nothing.
August 20th, or maybe 21st, 1994.
Good.
Dear Mum, I was talking to a captured German paratrooper for a while the other night. He earned the Iron Cross.
See, there, see?
For Pete's sake.
He seemed a very nice chap who really believes in what he's fighting for. His young family were in Hamburg, and all he wanted was to get back home to them. He'd served in Russia, Crete, Italy, and Africa, and now here. He was worried about whether he'd be allowed to write home. We sure gathered in a pile of Jerry's that day.
He another bright spot?
Figured my folks might want to know about him.
Him you wrote home about.
You just accused me of not writing enough about the war.
But a Kraut POW?
So this part I should have left out? Or are you upset that I talked to Werner Strauss in the first place?
German POW appears behind, unseen by them and uncertain.
You remember his name?
Only because it's the same name as that other guy's, the one who wrote the Blue Danube Waltz.
Oh, another German, probably. You chat with him too?
No, Johann Strauss was dead long before the war. The only reason I talked to him...
Bitte.
Shit.
For Christ, you brought an enemy here?
Jack aims gun at POW.
Whoa. The war ended a long time ago, Jack. And this is no battlefield. Think where we are, where he is.
He's only here because you brought him here. From who knows where. You just gonna stand there?
Oh. Could you help us with something?
Oh, Jesus, get your...
Indicates gun and Bob aims his own.
Now talk with him. Like back then.
Was hast du gesagt?
Shit. Yeah, German. Hände hoch.
POW puts his hands up. Lights change.
Bitte. Ich habe Hunger. Hungry?
Yeah, you, me, and everybody else.
Was? Essen, bitte. Is food?
Kein Essen. No food here.
No food. Is papier, paper?
For what?
Right to Familie.
Your wife?
Und Sohn, Tochter, daughter. Yeah. So,
We'll see. Tell me this. Why were some of your men using bayonets?
is no bullets.
No bullets?
It happens some days.
Uh-huh. You know you're not going to win.
Maybe.
You're just losing men and taking a bunch of ours with them. You and the bloody SS.
SS bastards. They run, be safe, leave us only. Wehrmacht, normale army, wie to fighting. Africa, Italia, Russland.
You? About the Russians too?
Yeah, they must not come in Deutschland. It's very bad.
Worse than we Canadians, or the English get hold of it?
Yeah. We should fight this Engländer, Kanadier, fight Russisch Dogs und was ist da? Zusammen.
Together?
Yeah.
So the SS you don't like, but us you do. Why are you fighting?
Food, job. Deutschland ist much poor. The world breaks us. Deutschland must pay billions gold marks.
20 years ago, and only because of the Great War.
Yeah, the war to end all wars.
So you're okay with stealing from innocent people, whole countries?
Me? Nein. Der Führer, die Generale, they say his answer.
You like this Führer?
Bag of wind. Yell, make bad face, but make Deutschland sehr strong. I want to work, feed, Familie. So I fight. But it's viele Jahre, long years. I need to tell them I tell them I miss. Liebe.
Yeah. Strauss, eh? Like the waltz guy? Musique?
Yeah, but I Werner Strauss.
There's the MP. Come on.
Bitte. Papier, a paper for writing, yeah?
I can't help you. Let's go.
POW heads off stage, followed partway by Bob, who then turns back. Lights restore.
No kiss goodbye?
Knock it off. I turned him down, didn't I?
Maybe that was the moment.
Moment?
When you developed a soft spot for the other side, stop fighting for 100% for ours.
What the hell do you... Jesus, Jack. What happened to you?
You tell me.
Ever since you got here, you're saying stuff that you would never have said. You're not the guy I remember.
It's funny.
It's like I'm on trial, being court-martialed. Well, don't bother calling the firing squad because I'm already dead.
Maybe that's not...
Not what, Jack?
Forget it. You have to admit,
Jesus Christ.
you felt sorry for them, for the civilians too, especially the Dutch.
We signed up for it, chose to be there. They just happened to live in the middle of it.
Uh-huh.
They were innocent.
And we weren't?
They didn't have machine guns or planes dropping bombs, did they? All of them starving. Remember that one big Dutch family with that poor little girl in the shed?
No, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Let's both of us talk to her right now. Then you tell me she wasn't innocent. The little Dutch girl, about 7 years old, living with her relatives in an old shed near Nijmegen. Nothing?
You didn't say a name.
Oh, yeah.
Christ, do you remember hers too?
Ollie. Her name was Ollie. Not enough?
Oh, maybe she doesn't want to help you, considering.
Hey, I tried.
Did you? No?
How could I not? Seeing her outside the mess tent, all alone, so thin and shivering like she...
Lights change. Something, reflected light, suspended object, etc., appears, hovers as a stand-in for Ollie.
Is that? Talk to her.
Can't. Has to play out the way you remember it.
Oh. Watch then. I offered her my lunch, but she wouldn't take it. Just ran off, beckoning me to follow her, so I did, to this little shed that...
Ethereal, dilapidated shed appears. Ollie hovers near it.
Holy shit. I didn't know why she led me there till...
Oi, come higher.
Apples!
Food sale. Some food, please. Isan.
Help! Help ons, alsjeblieft.
Ollie, right? This is your family? Family?
Ollie indicates affirmative.
And she said,
Jack interrupts in a voice with the properties of a young Dutch girl, surprising both himself and Bob.
Moeder, vader, twee grootmoeder, drie broers, twee zussen, vijf tantes, vier neven.
18 people crammed in there starving. Their whole family?
Nee, niet mijn grootvader, niet de baby.
They're not here?
Ollie indicates a stick cross beside the shed.
Oh, God.
Help ons.
All I have is my lunch and half a pack of chewing gum.
So what'd you do?
I told her I'd get more from the mess.
And then you didn't.
As Bob turns away from the shed and Ollie, they disappear. Lights restore.
Are you mad that I wanted to help or that I didn't? Which is it?
Both. You promised her. At least that's what you told me.
For someone who didn't give a damn, you remember an awful lot.
Promises I remember. Vows, that kind of thing, those matter to me.
I did the best I could.
Dear Mom, the quartermaster refused my request. I know it's a lot to ask, but can you send even a couple of tins while you're still nearby? And maybe a little toy for the girl? Otherwise, I can't make a lick of difference.
And good old Mom came through, helping St. Bob ride to the rescue. Sort of. What was it she sent? 2 tins of lima beans, or...
Better than nothing.
But you need so much more to save all those poor civilians. Never mind that some are working for the enemy. Meantime, we won't worry about those thousands of armed Germans swarming over Europe, killing our guys. Right, Bob?
Just one family, that's all I...
No. You decide your mission is to take a fucking rag doll to a sad little girl. Even though our commanding officer forbids it. V1s were following in that sector. Could have got yourself blown up, you jackass. Fat lot of good you'd have been up to our gun crew then.
It was important to me.
And we weren't.
Jesus, Jack, of course you were. And nothing happened. It didn't even matter.
I'm sure it did to little Ollie. Bet she gave you a big hug when you handed her that doll. You never told me that part. Here's your chance. Bask in the glory.
Why? You don't care about them.
This is about you, not them. Come on.
I didn't give it to her.
You didn't. But why not?
She wasn't there.
So the desperate family had a better place to stay. They probably only in that shed to make you think.
It got bombed. All right. Direct hit.
The girl?
It was a tangle of bloody boards, rags, hair, flesh. Hard to tell whose limbs. I heard another V1 coming and I ran off. You know, you can tell me what happened.
Bob.
Not everything, just whether she...
Can't.
Right.
Why does it matter? Anyway,
Thinking she survived, that something turned out like it should, lets me have faith in the world. Or us, I guess. Seeing all those starving people, kids like her, that didn't mean anything to you?
of course. But it didn't make me forget my allegiances, what my priorities were.
Pardon me for having a heart.
For anyone but your fellow soldiers.
And if they ever reach Antwerp, you can figure your son is doing a Dunkirk somewhere.
Who are you? Peg?
You really think that's her?
Could be.
But why her?
'Cause I wrote all that. Who else would have any of my letters?
You think she found them in the attic or...
Makes sense, doesn't it? If Mom held on to them?
Oh, if there's any doubt about that.
She might have tossed them as soon as she got them.
You read your letters to all the neighbors. My mom told me she did. That's how proud she was. I probably read them to anyone who'd listen. Hell, she might have had the whole lot of them printed in a book after you caught it. Bob's heroic letters. Could be circling the globe right now for all we know.
Nah.
We've been sitting back from it for 2 days awaiting our next move.
You've never heard anyone reading yours?
Didn't write any, remember? Heard voices, though. I mean, before I took the leap. My brothers, mostly. I'm wondering how I died. You?
Yeah. It was like, while they were thinking of me, I could hear them and see them too. That's how I know I'm an uncle.
What? No. Little Pretty Pigtails had a kid?
Too. I also learned that Evelyn married Homer Peterson from around the corner.
Ouch. Oh, I've always said your girl had strange taste.
Thanks.
Hearing my brothers talk, it made me want to think back, figure out what happened, you know?
I was more interested in the present. Well, their present. I liked it when they were remembering me. Maybe I've stayed for that, to feel connected to somebody.
You miss it.
Guess I do.
Now and then I'd hear a few buddies from the regiment. Remembrance Day, mostly. Hey now.
Our buddies? Fine. But those blowhard vets crowing about it? Best days of my life. I'd do it all over again in a heartbeat. Of course they'd do it again. They didn't get killed. Makes my blood boil.
Unfinished business.
What?
Something I heard. You've got stuff to take care of, sounds like. So you want to stay?
Me? No, sir. I want out of here come hell or high water. Let me try that again. I'm extremely motivated to leave.
There's your chance.
Right.
Bob moves toward the light passage, stops.
I'm still worried, huh?
Mom, that local chap Smithers. Smithers got himself in trouble the other day.
Gotta be some reason.
He got the feeling, the chill that tells you something is about to go wrong. It scared him so much he broke down, refused the patrol he was supposed to lead, and they stripped him of his rank.
And why that letter?
Rotten break. Even the toughest nut will crack if he sees enough action.
He was right, Smithers. Not one of his men made it back.
Nope.
Saved his own skin, though. As long as a guy in charge comes through, that's what matters. Hey, Sergeant Henson? Reminds me of that night patrol you led us on. Across the river.
Knock it off, Jack.
Hey, you agreed to this, buddy. You change your mind, you know where the exit is.
That patrol was nothing like that.
What was his name? That corporal. Lou something. quit stalling.
I forget.
His name, you forget. Okay. Right. Okay, Lou. Raycraft? Raymond. No, Rayburn. Yeah, Lou Rayburn.
Don't.
Rayburn appears.
Sergeant Henson! I guess it's Bob now. Glad to see you're finally giving this a go. Trying again, I see. That's good, Jack. Gotta work out that unfinished business.
We want to recreate that night patrol. The one with the river with you. Think you could,
Absolutely.
Canvas boat appears.
Jesus.
Oh, it's a bit empty, though.
Yeah, who else was there? Warren Phillips and what's his name? Otis. What the hell was that Otis guy's first name?
Eugene Otis.
Yeah, Eugene Otis. Phillips!
Hiya, guys. Bob, Jack, great to see you.
A 75-year-old man in civilian clothes appears.
So that Otis?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Oh, look at you, an old man. You survived it all, did you? Good for you.
Sorry, my memory's not. You are
Jack Kendall.
Kendall. By God, if it isn't just Jack Kendall.
And here's Lou Rayburn and Warren Phillips. Remember them?
Yeah, of course I do. I may be old. I ain't dead. Okay, I am. But I still got something up here. Phillips, how the hell are you?
I'm great, Eugene. Good to see you.
Bob Hansen.
Oh.
That's Sergeant Bob Henson to you, Otis.
No, Jack.
Wow. I figured we'd meet up again, face to face, sooner or later. Hello, Sarge.
Just Bob, please. How are you, Otis? I'm glad to see one of our crew made it to the end.
The end. Wow. What was it like after? Did you march in like a victory parade? Get a plum job?
Well, I got shipped home. One of the first sections decommissioned, actually. Got me a girlfriend right away. Didn't want to spend any more nights alone, if you know what I mean. And she was something, my Linda. Smartest, kindest woman you ever met. I honestly didn't deserve her. Yes, there was a parade. Big one. Lots of bands, they said, and flags waving, people cheering.
Dead? You didn't march in it?
No. Linda went, though. I think I was sleeping. It took me a while to feel like my old self again.
Sorry to hear that. But you and Linda?
Oh, yeah. We got married. Had 2 beautiful daughters. Boy, yeah, they taught me a thing or 3. I'll tell you. They love me too, though. It's a wonder.
Sounds terrific, Otis.
Yeah, it was a good life in the end. Some days I would have given my hind to be back with you lot.
You?
Army life was simpler. No planning for the future, no staying sober, keeping ahead of the rent. Sometimes those old fighting days seemed like the best ones of my life. I'd have signed up to be back in it in a heartbeat. But hey, that's enough of that. What are we all doing here?
Bob and me, we got thinking about that one particular boat patrol, trying to remember what happened. Thought maybe you fellas could sort of reenact it. Rayburn's up for it, so if you two.
Sure.
So, what exactly you gonna...
I guess we just get in the way we were that night. So Rayburn was at front, Bob and Phillips just behind, Otis and me in the rear.
They climb in, distribute paddles.
Now, Do whatever you remember.
They paddle. Light changes.
It is cold out here, and I thought patrolling up the dikes was bad.
I can't believe you volunteered us for this, Sarge.
It's our turn. Besides, it's simple. We scout their position. Maybe take a prisoner if we can. Get some information out of him.
All these stupid cross-river patrols, all we ever do is lose men.
Somebody's cranky.
Because I wouldn't give him any of my mom's toffee.
I can hardly hold this thing. My hands are frozen.
Less talk, more paddling. It'll warm you up.
I see the shore.
Okay, once we reach,
A mine explodes.
Ah!
we're going down. Phillips, plug that hole with your knee. All of you, paddle. Hey, I'm here, Lou.
I want to go back. I want to go home.
You're actually bleeding. Jack, get us back to our side, ASAP.
Trying. Paddle on downstream. Side. Paddle on the downstream side.
We'll find a stretcher bear to fix you up. Stay with me, Lou. Hey, remember that time you put a bunch of sugar in your coffee and then realized it was powdered egg?
Yeah.
You ever write your folks about that?
No.
When you get home, you have to tell them about it, right? Rayburn,
Uh-huh.
you've got to get home to tell that story, right?
Right. Sorry, Sarge,
Sorry?
for letting you down. Letting Anti-Tank down.
You're not letting anybody down, Lou.
I'm awful sorry, Sarge.
Lou. Still got your knee in that hole?
Yeah, Sarge, is he gonna... He's dead, isn't he?
The rest of you are alive, so keep paddling.
Lights change back. Bob still cradles Rayburn.
Jesus.
Let's go.
They settle Rayburn and climb out. The others paddle.
What? I was ordered to patrol on the enemy side.
You were.
If I turn it down, I'd have only saved myself, not him.
That's true.
But
Rayburn died, Bob. In your arms.
yeah, I wish he had it.
Okay.
You think I wasn't torn up about it?
Compared to that Dutch kid in the shed?
Boat with the others inside. It disappears.
I can't believe you're enjoying this.
Just trying to help. You know, set the record straight. Like good friends do.
Jesus, I should have at least apologized.
Sees the others are gone.
So after that,
Hold up. I can't. I need a minute.
you all right?
But I wouldn't give her a drink.
Like your soul. That could probably be arranged.
Funny. Even a cigarette. Damn. Can I bum one?
Bob, if you've run out, what are the chances I still have any?
Right. What was I thinking? Hey, remember when we were kids and your mother caught us smoking in the Petersons' woodshed?
Land sakes, you boys, you'll send the whole neighborhood up in flames. I took the blame for that. As usual.
Hey, I have an innocent face. Good times.
And good friends. Till the day I died. You ready?
Guess I have to be. What's next?
No idea.
Am I still nowhere? Because this having a physical body is new. So is coming across anyone else here. Not that I'm complaining, God knows, but Why are you here with me?
You must have said my name.
Yeah, maybe. I think she mentioned you in a letter, and
Called me here to get my advice, probably.
But let's not get carried away. When have I ever needed advice from the likes of you?
Not every decision you made was the best one, Bob. Or you wouldn't still be here, would you?
Whoa.
I'm just saying. Victims with a clear conscience don't take long to cross.
Like you mean? Shot by that German.
Sure, because it was the Germans' fault.
Yeah.
Maybe we should reenact my death.
You'd go through that again?
Yeah, to help a buddy? Sure. Could be tricky, though, without the German. Or maybe you know his name, too.
Nope. All I remember, he was barely more than a boy. Even younger than Phillips.
Phillips
Looking
appears.
for, looking for me?
Hey, give us a hand, would you? Stand in for the German who shot me.
You can do that?
Sure thing. You were on patrol duty, right?
Heading there, yeah?
Yeah, we'll start in our billet, maybe. Me prepping, Bob writing.
Got it.
He exits. Surface, paper, etc. appears. Bob prepares to write.
You ready?
Yes?
Lights change as Jack begins to prep.
I think our new division commander has something big planned. I keep hoping this business will get easier, that I'll know which move is the right one instead of having to guess.
You feel that draft?
Bob puts letter away.
In this place? When don't I?
What kind of patrol is it?
Easy, HQ perimeter. The others will meet us there.
They go out, start walking.
You hear Kote's latest? They're taking cover behind a Jeep with the new guy. Greener than spring moss. Pops up for a look, then bang! He starts yelping, I'm hit, everything's going dark, I'm dying. Gets hysterical. Kote turns him around. The bullet hit him all right. Took off the tip of his nose. The kid's barely even bleeding. I'm dying, he says.
Bob is anxious. There is a light flash or other effect.
Honest to Pete, some of these guys.
That's when the SS guy stepped out. There.
Phillips, as German SS soldier, appears behind them.
Schmutziger Schwein.
He shoots Jack in the back.
Kraut bastard!
Bob knocks out the German, rushes to Jack.
Wait. This isn't...
You're gonna be okay. You have to be.
Bob! That's not how it happened.
Light flash, effect ends. Lights restore. Phillips rises.
That's right.
That's how. You know how he died?
Yeah,
So he told you?
it has to be the truth or it won't help.
The truth.
What really happened? You were there, you know. Try again.
Phillips exits. Jack and Bob set up again.
You finished your letter and got your gear, and you were walking, and we were walking. I was telling you the story.
Wait, please.
Lights change.
The bullet hit him, all right? Took off the tip of his nose. This kid's barely even bleeding. I'm dying, he says.
Bob is terrified. Phillips, now as a Wehrmacht German soldier, steps out, in front this time. Bayonet rifle aimed at Jack, who raises his hands. Bob aims at German.
Listen, bitte.
Shoot, Bob.
But he's just hungry.
In slower motion, Bob tries to disarm German. Rifle goes off and shoots Jack. Gunshot is similar to, but not the same one we heard in scene 1.
No!
Why?
Split second. Then Jack rises from the ground.
That gunshot. See, I knew it. Everything, you, me, while we're still here, It's all about how I died. The German was only doing his job, but he's just hungry. You and your fucking bleeding heart got me killed.
Jack, please just.
What? Get over it? My best friend, it's too much. Way too much for that. I saw what was gonna happen. Like we were moving underwater, but before I could even suck in a breath, instinct kicks in, blood pours, blood pounds, muscles tense, brain screams, move, move, move. And you wanna, but you can't. It's just too damn fast. And it's all fucking crazy. You can't train for that. It's not supposed to happen. And then, boom. In that tiny sliver of a second, it's over. My life is over. If you had just followed procedure, this is the enemy. This is your guy. There's a difference. You take care of your buddies. It's your sworn duty. 4 years of training. You think you'd fucking know that much?
I did. I just.
Know what the army told my family? Know what the army told my family? Shot by a German. That's it. So everybody went on calling Bob Henson the brave hero, smart hero too. Stayed alive longer than careless, good for nothing Jack. Even now, you try to hide the truth. And you think you deserve.
Gunshot, identical to that in scene 1.
Right. Let's see what happened next.
Next? I guess it's your turn. About time.
We need to do it again, but keep going after.
Again? I can't.
There's no telling when you'll get another chance. I'll help. Trust me. Go back to when Jack was shot and keep going from there. No interruptions.
Fine.
Jack returns to his position. Phillips gets Bob into his, retrieves the German's gun.
Bob?
Yeah? Oh. He's just hungry.
As before, they grapple for gun. It fires.
No!
Why?
Moment. Then Bob wrenches rifle from German.
Nicht schießen! No shoot! Please!
Bob stabs him viciously with the bayonet. German dies. Frozen moment. A raven's cry breaks it. Bob sees bodies that Philip has not gotten up.
Phillips? My God.
I'm okay. See, we both are. Get up.
Did Bob really?
Killed my best friend. So I Jesus.
And did you tell anyone?
No,
Bob, did you?
The chaplain. How do you know?
Phillips shifts to the chaplain role.
Start again, son. You were with your friend.
We're not on patrol yet. There's the German.
The one who was killed?
He catches me off guard. He's hungry too.
He had a rifle, you said.
It's pointed at Jack. Now he has his hands up.
Oh dear, this German did shoot your friend, correct?
And I stabbed him.
The German? With his hands up? Son, were his hands up when you stabbed him?
I can't. Yes? I killed an unarmed man.
No. That would be a summary execution. Basically, murder. You didn't commit murder. Now, did you?
I think I did. My God.
Nonsense. You were in shock, confused. You still are. I'm glad you told me what you thought happened, but you mustn't tell anyone else. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So, the German shot your friend, wounding him badly. Ah, but your friend grabbed the rifle and turned the bayonet on the German. Yes, and when they both fell dead, you ran. That works. You understand?
I
You're due for a leave?
yes.
Good. Put this out of your mind and come back fresh, ready to serve your country. God knows we need you, son, and we wouldn't want this to mar your exemplary record.
No. I mean, yes. I will. Thank you, Pastor.
Bob searches again unsuccessfully for cigarettes. He sees a surface appear, goes, and writes.
Dear Dad, why won't you write? Terrible stuff has happened, and the constant fear, it's getting harder for me to carry. When I think of you and the neighbors all listening to my letters, thinking I'm some kind of hero. By now, Jack's mom will have heard. So here's the story. We were walking to a patrol when a Jerry appeared and fired the shot that killed Jack. But the truth is, if I'd done the right thing, Jack would still be here. And that guts me. And then after he got shot,
Basically murder.
I
Mustn't tell anyone. Understand?
I did nothing while Jack, fatally wounded, grabbed the German's gun and stabbed him with the bayonet.
Stops writing and speaks to Jack.
I ran off and left you there alone.
Lights restore.
Bob won't remember the next part just as well. But I do.
You're there?
Yeah. Otis too.
Hello again. Oh, I don't think I
He needs you to remember. You all do.
okay.
Otis and Phillips go to Bob. Lights change.
What do we do, Otis?
This is all we need.
I'll get the CO.
Yeah. Get the seal.
Otis?
No. Once was bad enough. This is my chance to.
The truth is your chance. Denying it won't help. I'll get the CO.
Wait. They might send him back to medical. We can't risk it.
He needs your help.
But we need him. In that offensive we're training for, that Operation Elephant.
He's in no shape for combat. Look at him. Besides, anti-tank is only support for this one.
And if we end up going in, you think there's some extra sergeant they can put in charge? Look, you want to get out of there alive?
Of course I do, but
then we need him. Even messed up. This bastard's got 10 times more experience than any of us.
So what, we do nothing?
Let me think. He probably needs rest. So we let him rest. Yeah. I mean, that's all they really do back in B echelon.
I guess.
Look, he'll snap out of it. You stay here. He likes you. I'll go find him some rum and cigarettes. Maybe he just needs a smoke.
Otis begins to exit. Lights change.
Otis was
exactly like that. I'm a horrible person.
No, Was he like that for long?
3 days we kept him holed up.
And he got better?
Rayburn appears, confers with Phillips, who makes a gesture over Bob, and his breakdown eases.
He got better some, but we couldn't cover for him any longer. Special training for that offensive was starting, and ready or not, I threw him into it.
That happened?
I wish I'd listened to you, or that I'd known we'd be going in.
To Operation Elephant.
God, support my ass. Started at daybreak. Wasn't even noon before we were headed up to the front lines where he got killed.
Almost over, Bob. You ready?
Maybe we should stop. I mean, look at him.
No. Let's finish it.
A mess. Adding this on top.
No more lying to myself. I want it over whatever happens.
Can't you just tell him where he's headed?
They can't. You said so yourself. The rules, right?
Yeah. Right.
Let it out, Bob. Whatever you remember.
Okay, well,
During the description, stage is set for scene with sloped dike. Sounds of stylized artillery, rifles, and machine gun fire begin. Steadily increases.
we were in the billet when the captain brought me a letter that had just arrived. Then he told us that the initial attack had failed utterly. We'd be going in. 1 minute we were safe, laughing, and the next, bundling up, grabbing our helmets and kits, and getting our mess tins filled. As our carrier bounced along to the front, I read the letter. From my dad. I remember every word. Thinking of you in the middle of war is more than I can bear. I have regrets. I did things I never want to think about, much less speak of. Maybe you already know what I mean. I hope not. Just try to be you. Even that's asking a lot, I know. I couldn't be more proud of you, son. Those words. In less than an hour, we were in it. Relieving what was left of B Company, slipping and sliding everywhere in 6 inches of mud, red mud. We hunkered down in shallow trenches, trying to keep warmth in. Fear and Jerry grenades out. And then we were advancing, crossing dike after dike, covering each other against heavy sniper fire.
He, Otis, and Phillips transition into scene. Prep for crossing, getting kits, helmets, rifles. Rayburn watches with Jack.
We'll need your help.
Me? It was long gone.
You've been wanting to see how he died. And somebody's got to stand in for the other soldier.
What soldier?
Nobody you knew.
Jack waits. Rayburn looks at Bob, then whispers in Jack's ear.
Get somebody else. Phillips or Otis.
Can't. They were there.
You, then.
It needs to be you. I'll give you everything the soldier said, what he did. Like Bob, writing the letters.
No.
To help your best friend. You too. Good. Let's get you ready.
They exit. Lights change. Battle sounds rise.
Go on 3, and no matter what happens, keep moving. 1, 2, 3.
Otis and Phillips dart across dike top to opposite side.
Covering.
Bob moves onto dike.
Shit, guns jammed.
We hear a few random gunshots. Bob falls onto DS slope.
Sarge. Henson.
Explosion nearby.
I'll get you.
Sarge said to keep moving.
He's right, Phillips.
I'm not gonna.
Go!
They leave. Rayburn re-enters to watch. Bob discovers thigh and torso wounds, bleeding.
Jesus.
Takes gauze from helmet, wraps wounds. There's an explosion.
Hey, is that anti-tank?
Sounds of running feet. A soldier, hit, falls on US slope of dike, out of view.
Phillips? I'll get you.
Another explosion.
Damn it. Phillips, you still with me?
Bob reaches over.
I'm gonna pull you down.
Ah,
Sorry, buddy. It's the only way.
Bob pulls Jack, dressed in German uniform, into trench. Jack glances over at Rayburn.
Shit.
Scheiße.
Each points his weapon. Stalemate.
Drop it.
Again, Jack looks over at Rayburn, who nods.
Kein English.
Great. Okay. Last is fun.
Jack/German points at Bob's 2 wounds, his own one.
Nein. Du hast 2 Wunden. Ich habe nur ihn.
Yeah? So?
Jack/German jumps at Bob, who fires, but gun is empty.
Do it. She said,
Explosion where the German was.
you're welcome. Bitte scrum.
Übergib es.
Hand over what? Was?
Ali Stefan.
Bob hands over kit. German finds and eats chocolate. Takes cigs.
Sure. Take everything I got, ugly piece of shit.
Wo ist du Rest?
You see another bag anywhere?
Bob winces, reaches inside coat to wound.
Halt! Was hast du drin?
In here? The most terrifying weapon there is.
Dramatically draws out small rag doll. Laughs. German kicks Bob's wounded leg.
Idiot!
Likewise, I'm sure.
Wer hat dir das gegeben? Deine Mama?
She did, as a matter of fact.
Ludin Mama deinen Schwanz auch.
Does she what?
Deinen Mama deinen Schwanz.
Bastard. Disrespect my mother. You can. Lusch, mein and Schwanz. Did I say that right?
German hits Bob's torso wound with rifle butt. Bob grabs rifle, gains control, aims at German.
You fucking crowd, I should.
Lighting effect.
Shoot, Bob!
Should I? Hey? Answer me, or so help me.
Nicht scheißen. No shoot. Please.
No shoot, please. Summary execution, basically murder.
Man, don't I? To another one.
Just try to be you.
Okay.
Light effect ends.
Okay. You're bleeding. Give me your helmet. The bandage inside it. Damn you. Field dressing? This. Good. Give it. Gib es mir. And don't try anything funny.
Puts rifle out of German's reach. Wraps German's wound.
I'm not gonna hurt you. Ich bin ein Freund. One with a gun, but still a friend. Hey, anybody out there? Anti-tank? Shit.
German reaches into pocket. Bob grabs rifle.
Hey, what a... Was hast du something or other?
German slowly removes cigs/matches. Photo falls out.
Hey, let's see that. Gib es mir.
Zigaretten?
The photo. Come on. She your daughter? Tochter? We'll say she's your little girl, and that's your wife, your Frau, yeah? Forget it. Here.
Meine Familie.
In Deutschland somewhere? Berlin? Well, I hope your familia is okay, or Gesundheit, or whatever. Hey, this was for a little girl who didn't make it. For your talk to, okay? A gift. For not shooting me when I asked you to.
Begins to offer doll, but freezes.
Oh, God. No, I can't.
You can. You need to. Bob,
Okay. Jeez. Maybe that the blood will wash out.
He tosses it over. Sound of running, US. Bob is torn between watching German and looking at who's coming. Quickly fires in direction of running and shifts aim back to German as latter reaches for doll. A soldier falls face down into trench.
Stay back. Ich hab ihn. Gun, damn you.
Bob turns fallen man over, finds no gun, then sees it's Phillips, bleeding badly. Jack jumps up. Lights restore.
You fucking shot Phillips? Jesus Christ, to think I felt guilty for being angry. Guilt and anger scraping away at my insides all these years.
such a shame.
I thought you were one of the good ones. But this... Jesus.
Sorry,
Fat lot of good sorry does me. Or Phillips. Or Rayburn, right?
We don't need to finish this. I'll just go.
Fine with me.
But you haven't.
I betrayed my own guys. Got Rayburn and Jack killed. And too much blood on my hands for both sides.
Because of these.
Indicates fatigues.
You still don't know how you died.
Doesn't matter.
Nope.
See it first.
But you...
I'm fine.
But you had to find out.
I know everything I need to.
You sure about that?
Jack returns to Dyke. Lights change. Phillips falls. Phillips again falls.
Phillips? Oh, Christ.
Sarge?
Yeah, I'm here. Gotta stop the bleeding, okay?
He tries to help Phillips and guard German. Points at Phillips' helmet.
Hey, get the bandage out, now. Schnell.
German tosses over small bandage.
Damn it.
Bob stuffs whole thing into Phillips's wound.
I can't see.
Hang on. As soon as the bleeding slows, I'll
Mommy.
No, Phillips. Jesus fucking Christ.
Gun hand covering German shakes dangerously. German watches.
Okay. Okay. Huh?
Jack looks at Rayburn.
That can't be right.
What happened?
I don't care.
Jack gets up. Lights restore.
Jack?
No, forget it. I won't. I won't.
Give me that. And watch.
Rayburn takes German jacket. They switch spots.
Okay. Okay.
Snow begins to fall gently.
Guten Abend, gute Nacht, mit Rosen bedacht, mit Nägeln bescheckt, schlug unter die Deck. Morgen früh, wenn's Gott will, wirst du wieder geweckt. Morgen früh, wenn's Gott will, wirst du wieder geweckt.
Bob's hand still shakes, though less.
Okay. Alles ist gut.
Tosses cig/matches near Bob.
Thanks.
German takes handkerchief, points to Philip's face.
Abdecken. Ja?
Yeah.
Face gets covered. German sees something off stage, pulls pistol from back waistband, aims at Bob.
Hände hoch. Up.
Raise
Son of a
hand.
bitch.
Otis, dressed as German officer, slips over dike.
Leutnant. Hier ist alles gut.
Cocks pistol, gestures beyond.
Die anderen gingen voran.
Gut. Erschieß und kommt dann so.
He exits.
You had that the whole time? I mean, yeah?
Ja. I had it the whole time.
Full of surprises.
German disarms pistol.
Go.
Wish I could, but no gas left in the tank. You're the one with the daughter, so I'll cover you. I swear on my mother's life.
German nods.
Okay, shift me higher, would you?
German does, turning Bob so he can peer upstage.
Look at the sun coming up. All rosy like it's blushing. I'm ready.
Thank you. Comrade.
Bob shoots high, twice. Pulls self higher, shoots. Shifts higher again. Now fully exposed, he shoots a final time. There's a crisp rifle shot, the one from scene 1. Bob falls. Battle sounds fade.
Mom.
Snow continues, then lights change. Rayburn and Otis return and join Jack. Phillips gets up.
Bob,
Yeah.
Phillips helps Bob up. Snow slowly stops.
That gunshot. Which side were you on?
Yours. Wasn't I? But all those other people suffering. I guess I couldn't choose. Can you forgive me?
Bob,
I didn't know it was you, I swear. I couldn't undo things, but I saw one man, a life that I could spare, so I did. I never meant for you to.
there's nothing to forgive.
He killed you.
He was wounded himself, and guarding one threat His gut told him to do something and he did it. Your father understands that too.
My. He's there?
Been waiting for a long time. With your mom and sister.
Peg's dead too? So the letters, it wasn't her. Huh? Thanks for telling me, in spite of the rules.
Rules?
Nobody blames you either, except you.
Maybe you don't.
Not a bit.
Many other decisions, small ones made by lots of people, brought us to the place where you had to make yours. We were at war. All of us were struggling. Somehow I knew that. Didn't feel the weight of that guilt, but you did. You've been struggling ever since.
So why do you tell everybody you do it all over again?
Wanted to make it right. Wished I could go back and do it differently. I would have, if I could.
Instead, you're stuck here like me. Between.
You had a head start. 75 years. That's an awful lot of time to feel guilty.
What a pair. Working out our unfinished. Didn't you? And the rules, you said. You were lying?
No, they really can't tell you how you died.
They? You're stuck here too.
Yeah.
Yep. Soldiers. That's our specialty. We both crossed pretty quick. Been helping others do it ever since. Most take ages. Like you three.
Convinced they're not worthy.
We're the last of them?
Hardly. We just helped a corporal killed in 1917 and a captain from 2006. It keeps going.
It's 2006?
Not anymore.
But if we're not the last ones, then why?
There's just this one left. Dear Mom, I wish to heaven I was home. Russians are going great guns now. Sure hope this war finishes soon. What a hope.
That voice.
There's your answer. Somebody thinking of you. Giving you another chance to get some peace. We just help it along.
Time to move out?
I'll get to see Linda. And my girls.
You bet.
Oh boy. I'll catch you on the flip side, fellas.
He and Phillips hurry into the light.
Bob?
Yeah. I know what I did now. So wherever I end up is what I deserve.
Please, don't start in on that fire and brimstone stuff.
The man's voice that said, try to be you. Dad?
He wanted to watch. Couldn't contain himself, I guess. Well, I'll let you two get on with it.
Exits into the light.
I never meant for you.
I know. Maybe I always knew.
Friends? Like the old days?
No. Comrades.
They shake hands.
It's actually camaraden.
Close enough. Let's go. I'm sick of being in this body. I'm so cold. Stiff too. It's like being in the trenches all over again.
I know. I think I'm actually getting hungry.
They start towards the light. Jack goes through, but Bob hears a voice and hesitates.
Chicken you sent was so darn good. Could you send a tin of beans or some other food I can heat up? I can't wait to get home. Love, Bob. So he did not survive.
Some other food. If I'd said, Ollie?
Steps into light.
It is. Thank you. Jack, Ollie's alive.
But I think he's at peace.
Bob disappears through the passage. Blackout.
Thanks, everybody. So let's just take a couple minutes to get a drink of water and for poor Duncan to recover a little bit. And then we'll come back and talk about some few things if you are willing and able to do that. Okay, so we'll see you back here in a few minutes.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Hey,
Hello, hello.
so
Oh,
I couldn't get back in, so I don't know where you guys are.
Oh, I see. Sorry about that. We just
I've been out of the room for- Yeah.
we just finished. All good.
Okay. No, I watched it to the end, but then I
Oh.
tried to come back and I couldn't get in. So I
Oh,
didn't know if you
no
guys were-
worries. We just finished. Well, we're mid break, but yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. Excellent. Oh my God. What a great reading. Wow.
Everybody.
Can't wait to talk about it. Fantastic.
Those German pronunciations were very helpful. If I just had any more time to program them in my brain, I promise they would have come out of my mouth. But they were very helpful to read beforehand.
But it's nothing to worry about. It's all good. It's all good.
And Demi even had to sing in German. My goodness.
Oh my God, it was gorgeous. It was
Yeah,
so
that was
beautiful.
wicked.
It was really great. Yeah. Yeah.
once we get into the discussion, I'll just like talk about how authentic I genuinely felt that singing was. It was amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's great.
Sorry, last one back.
That's great. Congratulations, Trudy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thanks.
Really,
I really appreciate the thought and the effort that all of you put into that. It was really, really interesting to hear it and to see it. Okay.
so good. I just want to say quickly before you get started with everything, of course, I've seen various previous drafts, right?
Yeah.
So I have the unique perspective that I know how this piece has developed. And I thought this was so exciting to see where it is now. And the suspense that's possible now with this new version, it's magnificent. I
Oh,
just
good.
wanted to say that. Lots of heart and emotion. And I always want to hear from everyone else, but I really, really enjoyed the new framing for it and entry and all of that. Really enjoyed it.
Well,
So,
that's good to
good for
hear.
you. Yeah, really good. But I don't want to say any more. You go ahead with your,
Okay.
you lead your talk.
Okay, well, I listed the 3 questions beforehand, so maybe I'll start with those, and you all, I hope, will just feel free to jump in with whatever your thoughts might be. So, first question that I said was, does it move you or make you feel any kind of strong emotion?
Yes.
I was gonna say Duncan should definitely comment on that one first.
Or Duncan, I feel like he needs to go eat a big meal or something now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it definitely does. The way it's laid out is really poignant for that as well. It's quite beautifully done. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very cognizant of the fact that, I'm in my 50s. All of this happened 75 years ago. And most of the people who will be in the show and are in this reading now are far younger than that. So I'm very interested to find out. That's why I asked that question about whether or not it makes you feel strong emotion, because I am trying to gauge if, as it stands, if the work can reach this other generation that, I don't know what kind of knowledge. I'm sure it's very varied, the knowledge that people in their 20s have of World War II. So I'm curious about that.
I can speak to that. I think that for me, I was completely drawn in the whole time. For my education growing up, we learned about World War II and the vague experience of a soldier, but it wasn't in depth. And so to be able to listen and read something like this while watching the emotions coming from the actor and being able to kind of piece it together of what it would be like for somebody in the war, in the present moment, or looking back on the war, it was so cool because I've never experienced that before. So I was really appreciative of it, and I would absolutely see something like this performed on stage. So I'm in love with it. I'm so grateful that I got to be a part of reading that. It's very special.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that insight. It's quite interesting. I found there was so much that I learned myself, because I think, like you, Aaliyah, I didn't have a very clear sense of what a day-to-day experience of a soldier would be like.
Yeah.
And so I fell into this trap where it's like, oh, they seem to be in billets and buildings a lot. And I kind of clued in and went, that's because those were the only opportunities he had to write. When he was sleeping in a hole in the ground, he wasn't going to pull out his paper and pen. So, there's a lot of learning curve in terms of, I think, all of our assumptions about what life as a soldier is like.
Definitely, this definitely makes the whole thing seem a bit more human, if that makes sense. The way that we're taught in school, they're made to seem very much like soldiers. They don't have much of I hate to say it, but a life. You don't know that English. You often forget that they have a life, they have a story, they've been through experiences because they just seem to be there fighting. And this brought light to the fact that they are people, as strange as that sounds, and they've been through things.
Okay.
If I can add to that, I just think that Bob is such a empathetic character. I think in let alone like what the information we have, but also to the way you've written him. I felt very much like it's like there's no hoops to jump through to be on his side, which is really helpful throughout all of the everything that unfolds, even when it's like, oh, he clearly did the wrong thing here. I'm on his side and experiencing the war and the horrors and the information of the war through him as he's learning it. So what's lovely is like I could know nothing about World War II and watch this and learn so much about the war and how people felt about each other very openly, I think. But also, sort of what Aaliyah is saying, just the soldier's experience, I think it's so clear and so easy to latch yourself onto that it's really lovely to listen and follow along with.
Yeah, I would say that the thing that is so successful is that this transcends any particular specific war. That's what's so successful about this draft, Trudy. It's no longer, it doesn't depend on the Second World War to the same degree. It's a soldier, it's a human, it's a group of humans having an experience in war that I think you could put in any war setting and it would be as powerful. And I think that's huge. I think that makes it universal. I think that's absolutely gorgeous. And yet there is enough specificity about the war that it has authenticity, right? So it's the kind of magic of both. That's what I think is spectacular about it.
I mean, I just want to comment on like one little moment because there were so many moments that moved me, but I think the one in particular, just for me personally, from like a cultural perspective, my family background is German, and the moment where Demi was singing the Brahms's lullaby. I mean, first of all, Demi, like, well done. Like,
yeah.
My grandmother used to sing me that lullaby.
Oh my God.
And so there was like a really nostalgic aspect to it. You sang it beautifully. Like that moment for me really hit home. It was very authentic and really like spoke to me. Yeah. And it came at such a heavy moment in the play. This like beautiful balance between like the romanticism of the music and like the melody and just the where it was placed in the story was very moving, I felt.
Here. Okay, so the second question that I mentioned before is whether there are elements of the situation in the way that it's been presented that still are unclear to you. There are things that you're still going, I don't get it. I don't understand why this or that or.
For my money, there were almost things where I was like, I kind of want less information around this specific thing. Like
okay.
Very early on when the soldiers, like when Jack's kind of like, so what are the rules? Like all that, like I think that kind of conversation, at least for me, could come almost later because I'm like, I kind of like that I don't know what's going on. I don't know and then I'm like, oh, we're replaying some. Oh, that's kind of cool. Wait, who's this person? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I understand where we are now. Because I think, and then by the end when you explain that it's the soldiers ushering other soldiers through, it's like, oh, now everything makes sense so clearly that I can, for me at least, I feel like I can take more time getting there.
Okay.
I don't think, again, I won't speak for anyone else, but I don't feel like there's anything about the world building that I'm missing from what you've set up right now.
Okay.
Sound familiar?
Later still.
Yes, I mean, just for everyone else, it's come a long, long way because there used to be a lot more explanation. But it's so successful because as an audience member, you're solving two things at once. You're solving the story of what's happened to this soldier and you're solving what the world of the play is. And that's really exciting intellectually and emotionally from an audience point of view. It's really exciting. And you feel really satisfied when you start to figure it out, right? When you start, oh, I get it, So I think you're very much on the right track with this. Very,
well,
very
And I'm listening to Daniel and I'm thinking, Daniel actually took part in a reading of this a year ago when there was so much more detail and there were characters that aren't even here anymore. And there was all this spoon feeding of stuff. So I'm sure it's almost not like the same play anymore.
It's totally different, and it's and only, I think, for the better. It's like it's only gotten easier to follow, more streamlined, and yeah, it's so much easier to follow Bob's journey and also his journey with Jack and what happened in that instant. Like the way everything unfolds is so clear right now, I think.
Okay, cool. Well, that's reassuring. And then the third question that I mentioned before, do you relate in any personal way to the content? Does it offer you personally a takeaway message? And if you feel so inclined to share that with us. Duncan.
Yeah. For me, and without getting too personal, but there's so many, like, I've done quite a few like plays where I've been a soldier now, and it's great. I love doing it. But it always feels like there's always like, and now this one instance where I did this one bad thing. But this character is like, has so many moments of guilt, where he's trying to be the best he can possibly be. He's trying to be a good person to everyone. And that's what causes these moments of guilt. And like, it just made him feel like so much more real and like so much more tangible. And I connected to that personally as well. Like, yeah.
What I love is how a story from a different time period can speak to the time period that we're living in. And the moment that stood out for me really starkly was the moment in which the chaplain is speaking to Bob's character and saying like, hey, I know you killed this guy, but if we tell that story, that's not going to reflect very well. It felt very much like what we're talking about with like police brutality and things being covered up. So in that way, it felt, especially that moment felt very relevant. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a thought where like the saying "the truth will set you free" popped into my head a lot throughout it, which is one that I've always found really frustrating because it's another one of those very vague kind of niceties that you say. And it was, I kind of have a better understanding of it after doing this read through, where it is the only way to work through the shame of what you've done is to accept that you've done it. And we all have those moments, I'm sure, where you've done something that you regret. And getting to a point where you can forgive yourself for not knowing what you know now. But yeah, it was a very cathartic show. Even as someone who has no experience, like lived experience shared with this soldier, you know, obviously I don't know the hardships of war, but it was still a cathartic thing to work through. Just listening to it and obviously being part of it, which was really great and really powerful.
Okay, cool. Well, that's encouraging as well. I keep saying that.
I'd also like to say that just hearing it read today and seeing it on the screen and the sort of the gift of some of the great ability that we have through Zoom that's actually a positive, like the people entering and exiting and disappearing. So just Mackenzie, that was such a great idea to not be physically there. That voice was so haunting. And so the power of seeing you at the end when you chose to, boom, come on the screen. That was fabulous. There was such a payoff there. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Also for actors, I think there's wonderful acting opportunities in the morphing and playing different characters and taking on different characters. There's so much theatricality in this that is really nice to see. So hats off to you for that. That's fantastic. Yeah.
So I had another couple of questions or points, and actually, Jeanette, you pretty much covered one. I was gonna, my question about specificity versus generalization, you know, because we talk about if you create a distinct character, a distinct community with unique traits, that actually helps make something universal in this weirdly converse way, because every community has specificity, whether it's that specificity or another specificity. So in my case, I think for a lot of years, I went a little overboard on the specifics. and honestly, it's out of respect for the fact that these are actual men that we're portraying, whose actual letters exist, and all of the things that happen in this play, with the exception of a couple, happened either to Bob, to Ken Rowland, or to other Canadian soldiers who were in that particular theater of war. So I had a really hard time putting it sort of at arm's length and abstracting it. And it's only been recently that I've managed to convince myself that I'm still honoring the legacy of Bob Henson, in spite of paring down the details that make him him. That in honoring him as an everyman, I'm in fact honoring all soldiers, which I think he would approve of. So I guess we sort of touched on this before, but the level of specificity in the script, I seem to be getting the feeling that it's at a good point at this stage.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
I'm not sure if this is relevant or not, but I'm going to share it, the fact that I had some concerns that I'm very much in support of our military, and I had some concerns that this would be viewed as an anti-military play. So I actually shared it with some members of our military, about 5 sergeants and corporals, sergeants and first lieutenants, and had a conversation with them afterward. And I said, so do you have any negative reaction to this? Does it feel anti-war? And one of the young men said, it's no more anti-war than the things that happen in war are. So I found that reassuring, that that is how military would view it. They wouldn't see this and say, well, but you're not showing our side, sort of thing. So yeah.
I mean, the one thing that listening to you talk about that, and then also thinking about what Daniel said about, like, not giving too much information, letting the audience kind of get there on their own and put the pieces together.
Yeah.
I feel at the moment that it's like you're putting the facts up and you're not necessarily telling the audience to feel one way or the other. And I appreciate, as an audience member, not being told what the message is. I appreciate being able to, like, come to the conclusion on my own, whether I'm on the whether I'm anti-war or for war or somewhere in the middle on that spectrum, that, like, I can sort of derive my own conclusions.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I appreciate hearing that. I did get into a fairly deep conversation with the one soldier about, is war necessary, and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, whoa, okay, we're not going there. I can't go there. But that's really good to hear that you didn't feel that I was trying to influence you to be on some side or other. I mean, I am trying to influence the audience to be on the side of the soldier, basically, of the human being. That's sort of the goal. So,
well, yeah, certainly, like, it doesn't glorify, like, I mean, obviously it doesn't glorify, like, the tendency, I think, of that sort of, like, for war, I don't know if that's even, like, that makes sense, but, like, pro-military perhaps, of, like, the glorification of, like, the hero soldier, like, clearly that's not part of this story, is, like, glorifying Bob's behavior or Bob's actions, right? It's simply, this is what Bob's experience of war was. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I guess for me, I've come to the conclusion through all of these years that often the causes of war have a lot to do with othering, not understanding people of another culture, another way of life, another language, and so viewing those people as the enemy and treating them that way. That's actually where the title comes from. I don't know, I wasn't familiar with this, but in his acceptance speech for the 1964 Nobel Peace Prize, Martin Luther King said, "I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality." So I wondered if you found that notion of othering as a clear element in this play.
There's a lovely way you talk about it too, with othering, but also like Jack's always like, what side are you, like who are you fighting for? What's happening here? Which again, like just emphasizes, without being too on the nose about it, like the whole conversation of like, why are these people fighting? What's the difference between a German soldier and an American soldier? I feel like there's a lot of like nuanced conversation that can be had after, and that is brought up through the way that you've written how Bob struggles with everything he does in the war and how he talks about it and misremembers and things.
Right.
Yeah.
And also the fact that you have German and Dutch, the language is just spoken in the play. So immediately by hearing other sounds, we think of other people, right?
Yeah.
And having the actors play both parts, it just keeps reinforcing it, but in what I think is such a subtle and truthful way, rather than indicating what, that this is the other. It's just happening because it is. And I think that's very successful.
Yeah, I would think that also like actors who can very comfortably and accurately speak those Dutch and German languages, like, possibly like with like German or Dutch roots, like would be helpful too, right? So that it feels very authentic. Yeah.
But with coaching, probably that could also be achieved. I mean, I think that it's simple enough that the language that's in there could be coached. But yeah.
And let me just take this opportunity to thank all of you, because you don't often just get a script, 2 days before that has, oh, good, it has 3 languages in it. Yay, So I really appreciate the efforts in that regard, and I'm sorry.
I also personally like it was evident, like Jack, for example, playing a soldier and German soldier, and then being so anti-German as well. Like not anti-German, but like in his like just kill them kind of attitude. And also another place I noticed it is when you compare like both young people in like Phillips, for example's character. I saw a lot of resemblance in the German Ollie, the Ollie character,
Okay.
and how they're both very young and how they're both very innocent. There's a sense of innocence to both of them.
Right.
And that just was an interesting kind of thought that I had, where like I connected those two characters and how both characters either died or were feared to have died, and they had a huge impact on the other characters as well, especially Bob. So that's interesting. That to me, that kind of showed very like a notion of othering that's like ridiculous. Where like we're both just we both have the same kind of humanness to us.
Yeah.
Kind of jumping off like a bunch of people's points in terms of that. I completely agree with what Jeanette said about speaking a different language and then not having anybody explain what's being said, but just like as a response type of thing really helps create the world of othering. But then I love that the Canadian soldiers so seamlessly will slip into the other roles, and it really blurs the line of like, is there a difference, and like allows the audience to think of that, and then kind of helps us to empathize with Bob and his complete struggle to determine what is right, what is wrong, and who am I trying to actually protect, and who am I actually fighting here.
Good.
Which was helpful.
Good. Yeah, that's really that's exciting for me to hear. I'm glad. Yeah. So those were sort of my main questions that I really needed to get answers to. So I appreciate that. I know that we all have a way to communicate as well. And if you, after this, if any of you would be willing to send me any lines that you felt were out of character for the character you were reading, or just awkward, the English lines that were awkward in your mouth, I would be very interested in hearing those thoughts as well, so that I can fine tune things on that level too. Anybody have any other comment that they wanted to make or felt was important to make?
I had one little last thought that I only because I did the last reading. What I love so much about this version of the script is just how theatrical it is. I think Jeanette already touched on this a little bit, but it's reading it, I can see it, which is always my favorite thing when reading a play. And it's really it's really cool to see how far it's come in a year. It's really exciting.
Yeah, a year.
Well, that I've noticed.
Yeah. No, at least it didn't take me that longer than that, right? So it's all good. So, well, I have to thank you all very much. I really appreciated the expertise and skills that you brought to this, and it really has helped me. So thank you so much. And thank you, Jeanette and Stefan, for making this possible, and Jeanette for all of the other stuff that led up to this.
I want to see it on stage now.
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
Thank you so much, Trudy. This is such an honor. Yeah, it was
Wow.
great.
I feel the same way. So thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your long weekend.
Thanks. You too. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Bye.